Hey guys, Tim here, and this is a video walkthrough of the Audacity software with the lame MP3 encoder. It's a very popular bit of software. It's used with a lot of different audio import devices. Today's example is going to be using it with our universal audio import cable. It is a fantastic device, basically allows you to import audio from any source into your computer because it's got both an RCA jack and it's got a headphone jack that pretty much plugs into anything made within the last 30 years. This walkthrough is going to be broken down into a few steps, and you're going to see on the screen right now a breakdown of what time area in the video each one of those steps is. I want to give you that information, that way you don't have to watch this very long video in its entirety if really you're just looking for the step for how do I export music, or how do I set up Audacity, or some of the tips and tricks about the Audacity software. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with how do I get Audacity and how do I get the lame MP3 encoder. So we're going to go to a web browser and we're going to type in audacity.sourceforge.net. Now that's just literally http://audacity.sourceforge.net and press enter. And this is what's going to come up. What you're going to do is you're going to click download Audacity, and whatever the latest version will be displayed there. And we're going to save this file. Once it's done downloading, we're going to double click on it. And that's going to let us launch the installer. And we're going to say run. Now that input might be a little different depending on what web browser you're using. You might have an option to run right when you click on that link. But basically you just want to make sure that that software runs in the end. You can save it first to your desktop or to your downloads folder, or you can run it directly off the web. So we're going to press OK. It's going to guide us through the Audacity installation. We're basically just pressing next, 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 install. It's going to go through the installation right now. We're going to press next one more time. And for right now, we're going to uncheck Launch Audacity and press Finish. What we want to do now is get the lame MP3 encoder. That's the library that's going to allow us to convert this music that we import into MP3 files, which are universal. They work on, obviously, MP3 players, phones, tablets. A lot of cars support MP3s now, digital Walkmans, game systems, pretty much anything. So what we want to do is we want to go to worldstart.com, and we're going to go to the Support tab, and we're going to click on Knowledge Base. And then we're going to scroll down to lame MP3 encoder. Now right here you're going to see to download a Windows installer for lame. Click here. So you're going to click here. And then we're going to do the same process again. We're going to save that file. Then we're going to double click it. We're going to run it. And we're going to walk through the setup for it. We're going to press next. Next again. Next one more time. Install. It's installed and we're all done. Simple as that. You can close out your web browsers now. You've got Audacity fully installed in your computer. The next step is going to be to make sure that we have Audacity configured correctly. So we're going to start by opening Audacity, and that's simple as double-clicking the icon or finding it on your Start menu. You may get a prompt saying that there's some help. We're going to click Don't Show This. Again, it's Startup. And we're going to maximize it by pressing the second box over here. Now what you want to do to get Audacity configured to import your audio is go to the Edit tab and Preferences. And in there you want to make sure that under your devices, your recording device is which recording device you want it to be. In this case, we're going to select the microphone array USB PNP audio device. That happens to be the universal audio cable that I spoke about earlier. Fantastic device. And under playback device, you want to make sure you have selected how you want to hear the music once it's recorded. Do you want to use your speakers? Do you want to use a headphone out jack if there's an option there? And then press OK. You've now configured Audacity. You're all set up for doing that audio recording. Now, how to record a bit of audio into Audacity. It's really simple. What you're going to do is you're going to take the end of your input cable, in my case, or your audio device that you have connected to either the microphone jack or the USB connection, and you're going to connect it to the device that's going to play back the music. In this case, I'm connecting my universal audio cable to my iPhone, and we're going to play a song from that and record it into Audacity. And now what we're going to do at the same time, up here, this red circle is our record button. We're going to press that record button with the mouse button, and we're going to hit the play button on my audio device. Now you can see there that the audio is now recording. You can kind of see it started out right here with nothing at all, and once I hit play on my device, it started picking up the actual audio. And what you're going to want to do in this case is let the audio run until your song is done, or until what you're recording is done. For this example, we're not going to take it to the very end of the song because this happens to be a 6-minute long song, but we're going to cut it short at about a minute so I can show you how to then go ahead and export the audio once it's been saved into your computer. We're almost done. You can see at the top bar here, that's a second counter. So we're at 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. It's going to count towards the seconds. And like I said, we're going to stop it at about the 1 minute mark. And to stop it, we just hit the square, the yellow square there. And we're going to hit the stop or the pause button on our audio device also. So there we've recorded a song, or at least in this case a part of a song. You'd normally want to go ahead and let the entire song record. And now you want to go ahead and convert it into an MP3. To convert your audio into an MP3 once you have it recorded in Audacity is a very simple process. You're going to go to the File menu, and you're going to choose Export. Under Export, it's going to ask you the type of a file, save as type. You're going to click this drop-down box, and you can see there's a lot of different options here. There's MP2, there's MP4A, AC3, AMR, but we're going to select MP3 files in this case. And just for simplicity, I'm going to save it to my desktop in this example. So we're going to name the file now, and you want to name it something that has a relevance to the song. In this case, it was the song Queen One Vision. So I'm going to type Queen-One Vision, and I'm going to click Save. Now it's going to ask me to enter some information about the song itself. So under Artist Name, I'm going to click into the box, and I'm going to type Queen. Track Title, I'm going to type One Vision. Album Title, if I know this information, I can type that in here. In this case, it's called Classic Queen, is what I'm recording from. And you can put the other information, track numbers, years, genre, comments. This is all going to be displayed in most MP3 players. You can not do this if you prefer, but if you don't do this step, when you go ahead and select a song in an MP3 player, it's not going to have any information but the file name in it. In this case, because I've entered in the artist name, the track title, and the album title, that's going to be displayed on most MP3 players and allow me to sort my music a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click OK. And this is going to export the MP3. It's as simple as that. If we go to File Explorer and we click on the desktop, you can now see there's a Queen One Vision MP3 song on here. We're all set. What if you want to go ahead and cut out a section of the song? Let's say that you've recorded a section of your song, but in the beginning, there's a little of another song on there. Or, for example, in our case that we have up here, we went ahead and hit the record button, but we didn't hit the play button quite at the exact same time, so we have a section of audio that's a duplication. Very simple to go ahead and fix. All we're going to do is we're going to hold down the left mouse button at the beginning of the spot where we want to cut the audio. So we're going to hold down the left mouse button right here, and we're going to drag over till we have all of the area we don't want to be in the song anymore. We're then going to go to the Edit menu. We're going to go to Remove Audio, and then we're going to go to either Cut, which is going to cut it out. We could still paste in somewhere. Delete. We can do a split cut, a split delete. We can just silence the audio, but we can also trim it. Now let me show you here what a few of these functions do. For example, if we do the cut, that's going to just go ahead and cut that out and reset the audio where we had to the very beginning. So it's going to take out that empty space and shift all of your audio over. We're going to go to Edit, Remove Audio, and we're going to go to Silence Audio. You see that's made the bar completely flat. That's removed all sound from that section of audio. And just to show you that effect here, let's say this beginning is also an error. We wanted to just silence that, not delete it, but silence it. We go to Remove Audio and we go to Silence Audio. See how that removed all of the audio there and made it exist as far as the time spacing goes, but did not go ahead and delete it. There is still a 7-second bit of audio, it's just completely silenced now. So we're going to undo that, and we're going to select our original bit again. We're going to go to Edit, Remove Audio, and this time we're going to go to Trim. Trim is a fascinating command because it's going to take just the section you've selected and turn it into its own file. We're going to undo that. Once you've went ahead and trimmed out or cut out or deleted out the section, we're going to go to Remove Audio, and I suggest here to go in and cut that out. So we've cut it out in this case. Now we can go and save it, again, as an MP3 by going to the Export menu. A bit of a more advanced function is how can you adjust the sound of the input. You can see here this blue information is the actual sound of the file, and when it hits all the way into the top, it's become very distorted and we've lost information. So what we really want to do is be able to make sure that when we're recording things, they are not hitting all the way to the top, so they're not losing information. But they're also not very, very small blue lines where we can barely hear them. So what we can do is go right over here. You can see there is a slider right next to the little microphone icon right over here. And we can slide that up and down to change the input level of the microphone. In this case, it's going to be measured in points all the way from 1.0, which would be 100% input. We probably don't want to go there, all the way down to 0.0, which would be nothing. We probably want to start at about 0.5 and see how those look. You're aiming for something kind of right over here where the audio takes up about half to 3/4, and when it spikes, it doesn't spike really outside of the top edge. You really don't want it to look like something like when we scroll down over here where we have just a solid section of audio. That would not be good quality audio because we've lost a lot of information. Once you've went ahead and adjusted the recording volume, you can go ahead and see how that's changed by going ahead and pressing the record button and the play button on your audio device at the same time, and I'm going to do that right now for you. And you can see the input and what it looks like. We can adjust this live while it's playing. We can change the input volume down, and we can see what the effect that has on the audio. So in this case, right now, we've selected it at 0.3. That looks pretty good. That's where I would say I'd probably want to be for this track. Now, I would not use this audio recording because since I've changed the audio volume in the middle of recording, you're going to hear it start very loud and then go down in volume. You'll probably just want to delete this track and start over recording. Another popular question that comes up is how do I set the quality of the MP3 file? MP3 files are written in what's known as kilobits per second. That's how much data is written every second worth of audio. The more data that's written, generally speaking, the higher quality of the recording you'll receive. Now, it's all dependent on the source, of course, so if you're recording a very old vinyl record, for example, that's deteriorated over the ages, if you set it to be a very high-quality MP3, it still can improve what the actual source is. On the other hand, if you're recording from a high-quality audio device, or you're recording a good-condition vinyl or cassette or other device, you probably want to set the MP3s to a higher quality than they're natively set at. To do that, it's as simple as going to the File menu and going to Export. And in the Export dialog, after we've selected MP3, we're going to click Options. In the options, it's going to let you choose the quality of the MP3. Now, you can go all the way down from something that honestly is just ridiculous, 8 kilobits per second. I would recommend going no lower than 64. Realistically, I would start at 128 and work my way up. Most MP3s that are distributed from large manufacturers of music or from record companies are going to start at the 192 and work their way up to 320 kilobits per second. Because storage is relatively cheap, WorldStart has tons of memory cards if you need one. I would recommend starting at 192, and if you're comfortable with it, just skipping all the way to the 320. You'll be happier with the audio because once you've recorded this high quality audio and made an MP3, you really don't want to find out that you have a lesser quality than you should have because you decided to save a megabyte or two of space. Once you've selected the 320 kilobits, just press OK. And then again, when you export a file, you're just going to pick a file name. For convenience, I'm just going to click on one file so it inputs the name right there. I'm going to click Save, and I'm going to enter my ID3, which is my metadata, the artist name, track name, artist title, album title, things like that, and press OK. And that's going to convert the MP3 for me. What else can you do with Audacity? There are an unbelievable amount of effects and abilities that this program has. Let's show you just a few of them real quickly here. If we go to the effects menu on the top, you can see there's just an unbelievable list here. Crossfades, fade in, fade out, multiple tracks, repairs, repeats, reverses, a leveler. But I'm going to show you two of the most popular ones. The first one is the amplify tool. Let's look at this little bit of recording that I did here. And you could see just from the graph here that this is very low volume. You could see it does not go up all that much. And then we have a very high volume section. Well, from when I played this back, and that's as simple as pressing the play button, I can tell that over here was when I didn't have the microphone all the way next to the person that I was recording a bit of a conversation that we were having from. And here's where it was very close to them and picked up the audio fine. So what I can do is left click on the mouse at the beginning of where I want to amplify and drag the mouse over while still holding the left mouse button down and release it once I get to the end of the section that I want to amplify. I'm then going to go to the effects menu and I'm going to the amplify. That's going to ask me in decibels how much amplification I want. Now I can go ahead and slide that up and slide that down. Now, I'm going to go ahead here and let's say select 5 decibels. So I can go ahead and delete that out and just type 5. And I'm going to press allow clipping, which means that if it goes above the audio limit, that's okay. I still want to boost that audio up. Now, you can preview it to hear a sample, or you can just press OK and you'll see it change. That's a lot closer to the other audio, and it's going to not sound as dramatically different. Now, I can play around with that by going to the Edit and Undo Amplify menu, and then going back and repeating the process till I get it to be exactly as I want it. So we had 5 there. Let's go to 6.25. We're going to allow clipping this time. And you can see there we're pretty close. We're going to undo it one more time. We're going to go to Effects, Amplify, and this time we're going to pick 8. And we're going to allow clipping. And there we go. I think we've gotten it almost perfect there. You wouldn't be able to hear the dramatic difference in volume, which is a fantastic tool. So let me show you one other effect here, and I'm going to undo that one more time. That's the Control-Z key, or Edit, Undo, Recording. And this is again under the effects menu, which is the bass boost. Let's say you have an audio recording that really didn't pick up the bass as much as you wanted it to, or it picked it up as it was actually recorded, but it doesn't sound as good as you'd hope it would. So you can go to effects and you can go to bass boost. And this is going to ask you the frequency that you want to have, which 200 hertz would be a low frequency, and you can adjust that by sliding it up and down to what frequency you want, and then the degree of the bass boost, 12 decibels in this case. So we're going to select 200 and keep it at the default 12 and press OK, and you can see that it's went ahead and boosted up the audio in the section that we had selected. Now you can select the entire song, again by left clicking on the mouse and dragging down, or you can unselect the song. So what you're going to do is then just click on the track over here in the blank gray area, and it's going to select the entire song. A popularly requested feature is how do I listen to the audio as it's recording? Very simple. Go to the Edit menu, go to Preferences, and then you're going to select Recording. And here you're going to put a check mark next to Software Playthrough, Listen while recording or monitoring new track. What that's going to do is it's going to play back the audio through your speakers or through your headphones, whatever's connected to your computer as the output, and you're going to hear the audio as it's recording. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to press record and I'm going to press play at the same time. And this is now going to have the audio that's being recorded from my computer into Audacity. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the stop button. And what that did is played back the audio through the speakers. I want to go ahead and go back to Edit, Preferences, Recording, and uncheck that if I don't want to hear that. It's totally up to you if you prefer to hear the audio as it's playing, or if you prefer for the computer to just record it and you can tell when the audio stops playing, or by monitoring your input device. Where can you get more help with Audacity? simply go to the Help menu on the top and click Manual in Web Browser. That's going to bring up the Audacity User Manual. Now this has everything from frequently asked questions, and that's going to cover just general topics about Audacity all the way to recording troubleshooting and installation information. It's also got a Getting Started guide, it's got detailed tutorials, it's got advanced topics and some more advanced information, and down on the bottom it even has a glossary of terms. It's a fantastic resource. There is an unbelievable amount of information here, and it's definitely going to be able to assist you with almost all of your Audacity questions that weren't covered in this video. So here's the 60-second version of the setup for Audacity, the lame MP3 encoder, and how to get an audio file converted into an MP3. You're going to start off by going to the web and going to audacity.sourceforge.net and clicking download Audacity 2.02. Run the program, go through the installation steps, pressing next, 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 and install, and you've got Audacity installed. Your next step is going to go to the World Start Knowledge Base, which is under the Support and Knowledge Base tab, and then go down to Lame MP3 Encoder. From there, you're going to click on Lame MP3 Encoder, and you're going to click here to download the latest version of MP3. You're going to click on that Click Here icon. It's going to launch the Lame for MP3 installer. Go ahead and run it. Follow the installation steps. Next, 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 and install. Once it's installed, you're all set to go. Launch Audacity. In Audacity, you're going to go to the Edit menu and you're going to go to Preferences. In there, you're going to select your recording device from the Recording menu. You're probably going to want to pick Microphone Array USB PNP audio device if you're using our universal audio input cable, or you're using a tape to MP3 or vinyl to MP3 device. If you're using the microphone input on your computer, you want to select the microphone input. If you're using another device, you'd want to select that from that device list here and press OK. From here, you're going to go ahead and you're going to press the record button and the play button on the device at the same exact time. We're going to do that right now. And you're going to see the source audio recording. To adjust the volume, you go up here to the volume mixer tab. To change the input volume, make sure you have that input volume perfect before you go ahead and record your music, because if you move it while it's recording, it's going to change the volume right in the middle of it and the MP3 is not going to sound good. Once you've went ahead and recorded your entire track or your entire album, you're going to go ahead and press the stop button up on here, and you're going to hit the pause or the stop button on your device at the same time. And then to convert it to an MP3, you're going to go to File and Export. In the export dialog, you're going to select an MP3 file from the list. You're going to go to Options, and you're going to select 320 kilobits as your quality rate because you want the highest quality MP3s from your recording. You're going to press OK, and now you're going to name your file. We're going to name this Lifehouse All In, and we're going to go ahead and click Save. From there, you're going to type in the artist name, and we're going to name this Lifehouse, your track title, and this is All In, and your album title if you choose to put one in here. You're going to press OK, and that's going to go ahead and export your MP3. You can check that it's been exported by going to where you've selected to save it, and see that the MP3 is here. Once I launch it, you'll go ahead and hear the audio. It's that simple. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Hey guys, quick bonus here. People have been asking me a lot, how do I go ahead and take audio that's already on my computer and convert it into MP3? Let's say you have a YouTube video of a speech that was made by a former president, let's say Ronald Reagan's address when he left office, or let's say somebody sent you a video that has some beautiful audio in it, you have a live performance, a radio, just a whole ton of different possibilities here. Well, if you have our USB audio import cable, what you can do is go ahead and connect the speaker jack on it to the headphone output jack. You're going to connect that to your headphone jack or your speaker jack on your computer. So the USB end is going to be plugged in on the USB, and then the input end that you'd normally connect to your audio device is going to be plugged into your speakers. All you're going to do now is go ahead and go into Audacity, make sure it's configured correctly. So we're going to go to Edit Preferences, we're going to go to Devices, and we're going to make sure that the device is selected as the Microphone Array USB PNP audio, and press OK. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit Record, and then we're going to go over to what we want to record, and we're going to hit Play at the exact same time. What this is going to do here is it's going to take the audio that you should normally hear over your speakers and record it into Audacity. In this case here, you can see former President Ronald Reagan is giving his farewell speech from the Oval Office, and this was quite a while ago. This was January 11th, 1989. And you can see in Audacity, it's recording that audio. So we can go ahead now and take this beautiful speech made by former President Reagan and convert it into audio so we can listen to it wherever we want. Once that's done playing, you can either go ahead and hit the pause button or just let it play completely through. I'm going to hit the pause button to show you guys here. When I hit pause, you'll see it stop recording. I'm going to hit the stop button. And there we go. We actually have the audio from his speech, which we then can go to file and export and save as an MP3. This is going to work for anything that is playing back on your computer with the thing like a audio import cable that we're offering. So if you wanted to record game audio, if you wanted to record anything that's coming out of your speakers, it's as simply as connecting the USB end of this cable into the USB slot and plugging the other end into your speakers. It basically loops it back into the computer with the benefit of this being an all digital cable, so it's taking that audio and converting it back into a digital MP3 without having to go through all the signal noise and all the other problems that you'd normally have if you tried this by hooking it up from the microphone jack to the speaker jack.